Good morning and thanks for joining us on Beyond the Sensex, the show that's all about the mid-cap, small-cap side of the market. Let's start with the broad market action first. A few minutes, but first let me quickly introduce our guest on the show. Harendra Kumar from Centrum Broking joins me right here in the Worli studios. Harendra, morning. Thanks for joining us on the show. Let me start by getting your broad thoughts. 3860 on the Nifty. And technical traders are giving levels almost every day now, and those levels are getting breached even before the day is over.
I think that's one indication that the market is kind of bottoming out. When the sentiment turns very, very pessimistic, I think that's when we are closer to a bottom. And on a week-on-week basis, you have gap downs. So I think closer to the bottom that we are. I think on a fundamental basis, the multiples look really attractive at this point of time. And I think not looking at timing the market, I think it's time to start investing probably around 10%, 15%, and I think you should make some money in the probably going for the next 3 months.
Okay, Harendra, I'll quickly point out some stock-specific moves, then we can talk about either the companies or those related sectors. So let's quickly get you the buzzers or the action-oriented plays today, and I want to start with the Sajal Architectural Glass. Yesterday managed to keep its head above water. The issue price was 115, but take a look at what's happening to Sajal today. Down 20%. It's just come off that 20% lower circuit, it seems, just now, but still that's a big cut coming on Sajal. So people really seem to be moving out of this one, 65 rupees versus the issue price of 115. That's one stock that's moving around. The other one is very interesting. It's also going to be a management chat on the show today, and I'm talking about Usha Martin. Very, very handsome moves coming in excess of a 7% gain on Usha Martin. It's happening on decent volumes, about 35,329 shares traded on Usha right now. So not too bad. We'll get you a management chat a little later on that joint venture with BHP Billiton and what exactly they're going to do. That comes up a little later on the show. But let's talk about a couple of others. Amtech Auto, again, there is buzz that they're looking at buying out a German company, but that hasn't had too much of an impact on the stock. It's still soft down about 1% or so. The German company is called KSM Castings, and the price of this deal could be, the value of this deal could be somewhere around 250 million euros. The market right now not too euphoric about any such plan. So that's Amtech, one story for you. Usha Martin we've mentioned, and there is Sobha Developers, again an announcement coming in from the company that a Dubai-based firm is looking to invest in one of their projects, about $10 million being invested in a Bangalore project. That's Sobha Developers. But real estate, something like this is not enough to spur the stock 6% down still as we speak. So these are a couple of the stories that are moving around, some of the stocks that are in action. But I'll come back to you, Harendra. Now, new listings. I mean, we are seeing what's happening to Sobha. We have a couple of IPOs still open in the market. What is the view on the primary markets right now?
See, I think obviously pricing is going to be a challenge. So even if the issue is very attractive, I don't think high multiples will be coming their way. But I think it's a difficult time for them to enter the markets because the things, on the secondary market, you have companies which are trading at such low multiples. So I think to raise fresh money for probably a new venture is going to be a little difficult.
Okay. Would you at all look at getting into some of these IPOs even for listing gains, or is it too scary even for that now?
So I don't think listing gains is an option now. Listing gains are probably, animals of bull markets, the whole opportunity. So at this point of time, I think people are going to be wary, so it's going to be all that more challenging.
Okay. All right. We have a couple of other stocks moving around from the small cap space. We'll get you some of those interesting moves, but that's on the other side. Right now, a short break, down 43 on the Sensex. Okay, 3,900 back on the Nifty, and it's all thanks to short covering. The way the discount picture has changed, we're only at a 10-point discount compared to the 35-40 point discount we were talking about in the morning. So that's what's held back this market, and we're looking at a 5-point gain on the Nifty. Sensex up 63 points. No respite really for the mid-cap space, however, still down about 2% on the index, 2.5% mid-cap, small-cap space. So that's the picture for now. But Harendra, I want to just take a quick comment from you on textile, the space as a whole. We were just speaking to Mr. Birla out there. Did all of that sound convincing to you? All the arguments that he gave about, big scale and being present in the entire part of the value chain?
See, which is a part of the strategy of most integrated players. Actually, it's no different. That is number one. And yes, as you keep going ahead the value chain, you get higher prices. But the challenge is obviously to get the end user to buy your product at the price you want. And if it's an export-driven strategy, most end users always look for lower prices. The rupee is helping us there at this point of time, but fuel cost is not again. And that is one challenge. And I think most large players have not delivered on the export numbers, for that matter, the growth. Yes, the only good point of time, good point about this sector at this point of they're trading half of the book value. So I think it makes sense only for core long-term value investors at this point of time. But others per se, I think there is a pressure on the margin front as well as on the top line front.
Okay, now, since you just mentioned long-term investors, I'll just toss this open question to you. You also said that perhaps it's the right time to start looking at entering markets, nibbling bit by bit. How do you go about doing it? Would you even look at the mid-cap space? If so, what will be your entry point, or will you just look at blue chips right now?
See, I think currently if you look at it, clearly the positive is that, the rupee is depreciating. So you stick with IT for some more longer. There's in the mid-cap space in the IT, you have some of the very low-priced stocks, such as Mastech, Tara Alexi. These are companies that are trading at forward multiples of 5 or 6 times. So the downside is limited. The yield is probably around 4.5, 5. So if it falls, it only becomes better. So I think these are the kind of stories that you got to look at. Annuity-based stories, probably Power Trading Corporation, Indraprastha Gas, for that matter, NTPC. If it comes downwards, it's more of an annuity business model because you have fixed return on equity. So I think these become safer in such a market, plus also give you capital appreciation over a longer period of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So those are some interesting views coming in from Harendra. But before we wind up today's show, quick check on the trading calls of the day. Shell Damania joins us with a checklist of who's buying what and selling what. Shell.
Good afternoon, Surbhi. There were 3 calls that brokers were talking about today: Rand Baxi, Shipping Corporation, and GMR Infra. And all the 3 calls are still live. 2 of these, 2 on the 3 calls were sell calls, and 1 was a buy call. I'll run you through the stocks individually now. The first one was a sell call on Rand Baxi with a target price of 472. This stock currently trades at 515. It's up 1.5%, and this call is live. The second one, again a sell call on Shipping Corporation with a target price of 184. This stock currently trades at 207. It's down by 1.5%, and this call is also live. The third one was a buy call on GMR Infrastructures with a target price of 88. GMR Infrastructures currently trades at 78, and even the third call is live. So 3 calls and all of them live. Surbhi.
Okay, all right, Shell. Thanks for joining us. Interesting. At least we're getting some buy calls, though they're just trading calls and not investment calls. But that's the way the story goes for now. About 85 points up on the Sensex, 10 points up on the Nifty. Well, that's a wrap on this show. Harendra, thanks very much for joining us today on Beyond the Sensex. And thank you for watching. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. Till then, stay tuned to UTVi for all the latest.